All right, here we go. It is the morning of day 2. It's been about 44 hours, something like that, of pool filling at this point, and we're getting real close. We're almost to the top of the next to last step there. So we're moving along really quickly. We've got about 11, 12 inches to go, something like that. So that's fantastic. Water's still looking good. I did put an extra thing of shock in yesterday just to give us a little extra protection from algae. As the water is exposed to the sun, the chlorine in the water that's put in there by the water company gradually breaks down, and so you lose your ability to control algae and other issues. So adding a little more shock in there just helps to keep the water nice and clear until we're ready to start circulation. I finished wiring up the primary pump, the variable speed pump, yesterday, and then I got the water feature pump set in place. So we're almost ready in the pump house to start circulating. We got the filter ready, we got the main pump ready. Now I just need to make the final electrical connections in there for the pump for the water feature, and then actually hook up the panel to the electric from the house, and we'll be ready to go. And that's going to happen today. We're going to have to start circulating water today. Now that we've got all this in here, we have to fire up the pump, get everything circulating through the system, and then we'll start testing the water and find out exactly what the water quality is, see if we need to tinker with the pH or alkalinity, hardness. We're definitely going to have to add stabilizer, cyanuric acid. Tap water doesn't come with that in it, and that is what prevents your chlorine in your water from breaking down in response to sunlight. But I tell you, even with it not quite full, this has already become a really special place. I mean, look at the way the light is reflecting off the still water, and how you're getting the images of the trees, and the blue just really pulls in that blue sky, that morning sky, reflection off the house. I'll tell you, this is going to be my happy spot. I always say my happy place is sitting in a chair at the beach watching the ocean, but this is pretty close. We're really going to enjoy this, especially in the still of the morning like this. Be a fantastic place to come out and read and reflect, and not to mention watch the kids play, swim some laps, and everything else. So excited for this. Looking forward to really being able to enjoy it now that we put so much time and effort into it. All right, we'll be back down this evening, and should have a full pool by that point. Hopefully be able to flip those pumps on and get things circulating, get our water tested, and add anything to it that we have to, and then we'll be ready for salt. All right, there you have it. It's the evening of day 2, the second full day, and the pool's full. We got water up in the skimmers at this point. And man, look at that reflection. Beautiful. This evening light looks as nice as the morning light this morning. Plenty of leaves in there for me to get out with the leaf net before I turn on the pump here in a little bit. So my job is going to be to make final electrical connections and verify that everything's in good shape before we start turning the pump on. Looking forward to getting it fired up and make sure everything's circulating correctly. So just when things were going so well, I happened to walk by the easy inlet fitting on the back side of the pool here. Noticed that the sand was a little damp. And I thought maybe one of the kids had been down here splashing around, maybe knock some water out of the pool, but something else told me it might be more than that. So I got a shovel and dug some sand away from it, and sure enough, it's leaking. It really sucks. So I started taking some stuff apart to try to investigate why it's leaking. I had taken all these apart because the one over here on this side, I noticed after I was done pressure testing it, or when I was pressure testing it, that the flange on the inside of the pool was cracked. So I ordered a new flange for it and replaced it. And then when I pressure tested the rest of them, this one was leaking a little bit. So I took it apart and put it back together with the PTFE paste and the Teflon tape. Pressure tested again, no leak, no problem. And then I did the same on these other two, just in case. I wanted to make sure there was no chance that we could have a leak later on. So redid them all with PTFE paste and Teflon tape. Pressure tested, everything was good to go. So much to my surprise, this one's leaking, which shouldn't be. I mean, I put 100 pounds on it and it didn't leak. Well, I just took the guts out of the eyeball fitting, and looking down in the pool right now, I can see that this flange has cracked. See that black ring there? That's not a ring, that's a crack. That's where the flange is separating from the threaded part. That's exactly what happened on the other one. So, unfortunately, I've discovered the fatal flaw with this easy inlet setup. These flange fittings can crack. And I don't know if it's just, cheap plastic, that was supplied with the original kit, or if I'm over tightening the hold down flange on the back. I don't think so. I'm real careful just to snug it up. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it. But you've got these 4 big, stainless bolts pushing against that collar, which is clamped against the pipe, and that's kind of what pulls everything together. So you don't want it loose, you don't want it flopping around, but you don't want it too tight either. So I don't know. I don't know if I cracked it, or I know it wasn't cracked when I tested it. So the only thing I can guess is that it had some stress on it. And then after it sat there for a while, that stress turned into a fracture, and that fracture opened up, and now we got a leak. So that really sucks. So now what do I have to do? Well, I got to drain the pool down so I can fix it. Thankfully, it's only 6 inches below the water line, so we're not talking about a whole lot, but it's not cheap. I mean, that's a lot of water. It's going to go down the drain. So that's really disheartening. I was looking forward to getting the pump operating tonight and then wrapping up some stuff in the pump house and really getting the pool in good operating condition this evening so that we can go ahead and test the water quality and go ahead and finish the grounding or the bonding network around everything, and then actually go ahead and be able to swim and enjoy it before the concrete deck even goes down. But now we got to take 2 steps back, drain some water out, and then replace this flange fitting. Thankfully, I bought an extra the last time I ordered some, so I got a spare in the house. But man, I don't know how many thousand gallons I got to drain out of this thing to be able to dry this place out enough to replace it. It really sucks. I mean, that's painful. So anyways, just got to grin and bear it, and I'm going to get the pump operational so I can go ahead and pull water through the filtration system, through the filter, backwash it down the waistline, and then I'll just pull it down with the main drain and the vacuum line. That way I won't have to worry about dragging the pump out and pumping it out like that. So I'm going to get to it.
Look at me when you do it, or do this, or...
All right, we got Reed here. He's going to test out the new pool. What do you think, bud?
It looks good.
Looks nice.
No, you just have to test it.
Test it out.
Are you ready?
Wow.
So cold. So cold. So... Dallas, you're in the pool. Cold.
Ooh, is that refreshing or what?
So cold. Oh, it's so deep. So deep.
It is deep. Wow, it is deep, isn't it? Don't touch there. Can you touch there?
Very deep.
Dad, maybe if you didn't feel like all the way up to the first step.
Here, look at me, buddy. Let me get a picture. Say cheese.
Okay, now I'm gonna go see our teacher.
Okay, now, so the first person to dive in or jump in has to clean the pool.
No.
It's our pool now, buddy. Well, we may have a leak, but
Deep.
at least Reed's enjoying it.
It is deep. I wish it weren't so deep.
Hey.
Just trying to go down to the bottom.
I touched it.
It's all right.
Okay, so let's go. You probably want to wait, because down there is really cold.
I bet it's really cold down there.
That's why I can't know what to go down there.
But thankfully, you're stirring the water up. And that's going to help make it a little warmer.
And also, if someone goes to the bathroom,
No.
Hey!
Nobody goes to the bathroom.
There's none of that.
but it would make it warmer.
Well, it would, but it'd also make it gross.
One spot.
So cold.
All right. Well, keep enjoying it, buddy.
Wonder what Gwen's gonna do. Cannibal.
Definitely. Well, the saga continues. I now have the submersible pump in the pool, pumping it down below the level of that return jet so that I can get in there tomorrow and replace that fitting, and then put it all back together, seal it all up again, tighten it up, hopefully get it to be leak free. It's really disappointing to have to pump this down after spending all that money to fill it up. City of Charleston, Sanitary Department, and the West Virginia American Water thank us, I'm sure, for having to pump out 500 gallons of water or whatever, and fix this, and then pump, and then fill it back up again. Man, that's a huge bummer. On top of that, in the pump house, we discovered that our drain line in the waste pit is not working. I had our control panel fired up and got the basic programming done so I could go ahead and operate our big variable speed pump, and come to find out that the pit is not flowing. So variable speed pump kicks in, starts sucking all the nasty stuff out of all the skimmer lines and out of the main drain line. Dirt and sludge and everything just been sitting in there for a long time. Even though I flushed it out and did my best with that, there was still junk in there. And then it was backflowing the filter. All that Zeosand has, you know, dust and stuff on it too that has to be backwashed into the pit. So all that stuff got backwashed all right into the pump house. So now we got water and silt and all sorts of junk all over the floor of the pump house, and as you can see, it was just, you know, pouring out on the floor or the ground here, and making a huge mess. What I think happened is this waste line that comes out of the bottom of the pump house, I think, crosses right over through here, probably right about in this area, and then goes down the hill right over here and comes out down here next to the road, right there by our gate post. Well, what I think happened, I think the guy who was operating the backhoe that brought our gas line in over on this side of the post and right across through here, I bet he got into it months ago when they were digging for the gas line, and we just didn't know it. I tested it when we first cleaned the pump house out. I flushed water down there and it was running. So I thought we were in good shape. But I guess that guy got deep enough that he got into it and severed it. So somewhere in this area probably it got cut in two. All that water was just going down into the ground, and then finally once we ran out of pipe, it started backing up into the pump house. So that leaves us with another challenge. You know, it's nice having a waste pit where you can dump your water, backwash your filter and all that sort of stuff. It's nice having that. So we can try to dig out over here, you know, somewhere along the bank, and try to find that line where it comes out and reconnect to it. Or the other option is to just come off of that waste line and just put a threaded fitting on it that I can screw a section of discharge hose onto it. So anytime I want to backwash the filter or whatever, I can just run that discharge hose over the hill, or you know, run it out here into this drainage box, or you know, something like that. So that's another option. Or I could you know, do a piece of 2-inch PVC, you know, come off of that waste line and then, you know, go over and go out the side of the pump house over here, and you know, just run it across over through here somewhere, and then over there and over the hill. So anyways, I got to figure that out, try to decide what we're going to do there. But at any rate, I can't pump any more water out right now, so I'm going to shut the pump and the control panel down for the evening and let our little submersible pump do its work, and get this pump down enough so that I can get in here and replace this fitting tomorrow. Got to get it pumped down and got to get that dried out good so my silicone caulk will seal well. So at any rate, it's been a fun evening. You know, we got to watch Reed splash around in the pool. He had a blast swimming around and doing cannonballs and everything else. So it was awesome to see him do that. He's really having a good time. So that was a real high point for us to see our kids, one of them, actually enjoying the pool. So we can't wait to get this thing finished so that they can actually you know, use it on a regular basis, and us too. So that was definitely the high point. The low point, of course, was finding a leak. But I'll get that taken care of tomorrow, and then hopefully the day tomorrow evening. I got to work tomorrow, so tomorrow evening I'll work on that, get that knocked out, and then hopefully the day after I'll be able to go ahead and put in a new waste line and get that taken care of, and then begin again backwashing the filter and getting the pool in circulation, getting our water in balance. I think I'll go ahead and dump another 16 ounces of shock in the pool tonight, just where Reed was swimming, and then I'm sure we got some organics and stuff kind of stirred up where we were trying to backwash the line or backwash the filter and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and dump another thing of shock in it, just try to keep the water clear until we can get a chance to get it in circulation. So that's going to do it for the night. We will see you guys tomorrow.